Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown. This is Week 1 recap, Tuesday, September 14th, 2021. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, let's get right into it. I want to, like I said in my last video, I'm going to recap and just do the AFC West, but I'm also going to bring in other teams, other games that were pretty significant in the very first week. However, I have to correct a mistake that I said last week. Now, last video, I should say, the mistake was I said that every AFC team was on the road. That was obviously a mistake. The Raiders were at home, and so were the Chiefs. So I apologize. I'll do a little bit better on my homework. I don't know why I screwed up on that. I just wrote it down wrong on my notes, and I just wanted to correct that. All right, let's get into this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to recap the AFC West games, and I'm also going to bring in some other games, like I said, significant games that made Week 1, in my opinion, one of the best football weeks to open a season ever. But before I get into that, I got to bring you some very important possible news. Well, actually, it's news because it's out there, but I got to bring in some very important news regarding the Denver Broncos' future ownership. And this one bothers me quite a bit because I'm not really, well, I'll get into that. Let me just give you what it says. Broncos ownership. Jay-Z and Amazon founder Jeff Bezos are both potential suitors to become the team's next owner. That bothers me a lot, and I'll tell you why. Sure, the Amazon founder, Jeff Bezos, now he knows how to run a business, obviously. I mean, he's turned a garage, basically a garage sale, into one of the best online companies you could ever have. Amazon is totally blown up. They're doing phenomenal. And so therefore, I feel that Jeff would be a good owner, a good suitor. But on the flip side of that, is he going to be more? Let's just play devil's advocate and say that Jeff Bezos does become the Broncos' new owner in 2022. Is he going to have his mind more focused on Amazon and what they're doing because that's already established, and he wants to keep that going strong, and he wants to buy new things, and he wants to venture into new areas and that kind of thing? Is that something that he's going to focus on more and just basically just own the Broncos in name only, in title only? Or is he going to be really involved in being an owner and what an owner needs to do, and an owner needs to have hands on and know what's going on with this team? So that bothers me. But then you got Jay-Z. Really? A rapper? Come on, man. I mean, seriously, a rapper to own a team? You know he's not going to be focused. That's only going to be name only. He doesn't know anything about, running a big, major team or company or organization. I mean, yeah, okay, he does records, and he has some hand in the NFL's halftime show, and he does kind of coordinate that. But that's a show, guys. That's music. That's a production. It's not a football team. It's not ownership. It's not knowing, what a team needs. It's not bringing in, great players or drafting great players. Now, sure, he could leave that up to George Payton, and he could leave that up to Vic Fangio and others. But still, Pat Bowlen had a hand in the team. He loved the Denver Broncos. He loved the state of Colorado and the city of Denver and the people and the fans. That's why he built that awesome stadium just west of I-25 and west of Denver. That's exactly why he built that. Because he loved the team, he loved the city. Is Jay-Z going to have that same kind of passion? I don't know. I personally don't think so. I think he's going to want to be more on the music side. So I'm hoping that somehow, some way, Beth Bowlen can take over, or just keep it in the family somewhere. Let even Peyton Manning be part ownership with a group. But Jay-Z and Jeff Bezos, I don't see them being a hands-on owner, and that's really, really bothers me. But I had to lead off with that, guys, because it is important. It is something that is definitely going to happen down the road. Not necessarily those two, but the team itself looks like they're going to be sold. And heaven forbid it goes to these two, because I just don't see that being a positive move. All right, let's get into some of the games that happened on Thursday and on Sunday and on Monday. Let's get into those games, and let me recap some of those. First one I want to bring up is the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers lost badly to the New Orleans Saints 38-3. Rodgers threw 2 interceptions in 3 consecutive passes. Now, Rodgers doesn't do that. But there's speculation, and I'm just throwing this out there, guys. I didn't say it, but I heard it on a sports talk. And I thought it was very, very interesting that it was even brought up. And it doesn't surprise me that it was brought up. And here's what was said. What was said was this. Aaron Rodgers does not like the front office. He doesn't like the GM at all. And speculation has it that he threw that game to send a message to the Packers and to the GM that he's not happy with the team. And basically he's saying, you know what? You wouldn't trade me. You wouldn't release me. You don't keep me in the loop when you're going to, when you're going to draft a quarterback. You don't keep me in the loop when you get rid of some of the receivers that I rely on. So you know what? You don't care about me? I don't care about winning for you either. Now, does it hurt Aaron Rodgers down the road for going to another team? I certainly doubt it. Everybody knows he's a great quarterback. So something had to be amiss. Was he throwing the game on purpose? Is it because he really didn't do any OTAs and he really didn't do any, he didn't do any preseason, and maybe he's out of shape and he's out of rhythm? That's a possibility. But I sure like the conspiracy that's swirling around out there that says that, you know what? Maybe Aaron Rodgers is just sending a message to the GM and the front office and the entire team that says, you know what? I don't care, guys. I really don't care. That's interesting. But 38-3 against the Saints. Wow. That's an eye-opener, and that's why I kind of lean towards the conspiracy. But we'll find out when the Packers play Detroit on Thursday. We'll see if it's a different Aaron Rodgers on Thursday night. All right, the Tampa Bay against Dallas on Thursday. Now, Tampa Bay and Dallas went down to the wire as the ageless Tom Brady drove the Buccaneers into field goal range with no timeouts left and under 2 minutes. Final score, Tampa Bay 31, Dallas 29. Now, why is that significant? Because Tom Brady's 44. And Tom Brady is 44 years old playing like a 24-year-old. The guy is just amazing. You can't give him any time. I mean, they had no timeouts. They went right straight down the field and got into field goal range and kicked the winning field goal. Say what you want about Tom Brady. I don't really like him either, but I do have to respect the fact this guy is great. And he's amazing. And he does it whether he's 44, 34, or 24. He's still a winner, and you just got to tip your hat to him. All right, the Minnesota Vikings trailed the Bengals by a very wide margin until the fourth quarter, when the Vikings tied it with the field goal and sent the game into overtime. Unfortunately, with just a few seconds left, because nobody could get in a touchdown, nobody could get in field goal range until late in overtime, with just a few seconds left, Cincinnati kicks the winning field goal. And that was a heartbreaker because the Vikings trailed badly in that game. And they came all the way back and tied it and made the score 24-all, only to lose it in the last seconds of overtime, 27-24. That was a heartbreaker for all those Viking fans out there. There's quite a few that do write in and do comment. So I'm sorry to hear that, guys, but I got to bring the games, that are close and the games that are meaningful. All right, the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots were poised for a showdown, and that's exactly what happened. The Patriots drove deep into Miami territory late in the fourth quarter, only to fumble the ball when they had a chance to get the winning field goal. They fumbled it. Miami recovers. The final score, Dolphins 17, Patriots 16. That hurts a lot for Patriot fans because Tom Brady came back against the Cowboys, and they don't have somebody like that on their team now in New England. You remember they cut Cam Newton, so all they have is that basic 1 year or 2 year quarterback, or rookie actually, I think. And he did play well. I mean, obviously it was a very, very close game, but you cannot fumble. And going in, well, all you got to do is set it up for a field goal. That's all they needed to do. And they fumbled the ball deep into Miami territory. I believe it was inside the 15-yard line where the fumble occurred. I'm not sure if it was a quarterback sneak, or I'm not sure it was a running back, but in any case, it didn't matter because the game was lost at that point. Miami 17, New England 16. I don't feel bad because I don't like Belichick. I don't like the Patriots. So every time they lose, this guy smiles. So congratulations, Dolphins. Thanks for making me happy. All right, let's get into the breakdown of the AFC West. And there were some great games, great games in our division. And I want to start out with the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are known for blowing fourth quarter leads, but against the Washington football team, they scored late and held on to win 20-16. Now they trailed 16-14, and they got a touchdown late in the game, or I should say they trailed 16-13, and they got a touchdown late in the fourth quarter, and then they held on as Washington couldn't score to win the game late. So the Chargers are 1-0, as well as the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs played the Cleveland Browns in a game that most felt it would be close, and it certainly was. Kansas City trailed early and had to come from behind in Patrick Mahomes fashion by throwing a touchdown pass and winning the game 33-29. Now, Tom Brady is great at 44. Patrick Mahomes is young. I believe he's 24, 25. Now, Patrick Mahomes has the same type of skill set early on, I should say, as Tom Brady. But for Patrick Mahomes to lead the Chiefs back when Cleveland was dominating that game, the entire game Cleveland was dominating. And it took a Patrick Mahomes strike down the middle, and then subsequently a touchdown a few plays later to win the game 33-29. Now I'm going to go to the Raiders and the Ravens of last night. The Raiders and the Ravens played Monday night for the first time in the stadium in Las Vegas. I believe it's called Alliant or Alliant. Not Alliant. Anyways, the stadium that's there in Vegas. The Raiders played there to like 63,000 fans. It's the first time the fans have been in that stadium, obviously. And it was loud, it was raucous, and it was an absolute barn burner of a game. It was a game for the ages. Monday night game between the Raiders and the Ravens was one for the ages. It was a back and forth game that even went into overtime. It had drama that put most of the crowd either on the edge of their seat or standing. However, in the end, the Raiders pulled out the win, final 33-27. It was ridiculously crazy. It was back and forth. There were great plays. There were sacks. There was fumbles. There was an interception in the end zone when the Raiders had it first and goal in overtime. First and goal at the 1. And there's an interception, and the Ravens had a chance to win it with a field goal because at that point in time, each team had already possessed the ball one time. So it came down to the next score wins. and Baltimore couldn't get it done. And the Raiders came down, and it was, I believe it was second and 7 or something like that. 2nd and 7 on like the 30-yard line or whatever. And they look like they're going to run the ball. And what happens? Carr drops back and throws to a wide open receiver that had totally faked out the defense and just basically walked into the end zone for the winning score. Once again, Raiders win at 33-27. So the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Raiders are all 1-0. The Denver Broncos opened the 2021 season against the New York Giants, and Teddy was magical. He scrambled out of the pocket, found his receivers, and he didn't throw a single interception while throwing 2 touchdown passes. Unfortunately, the win came at a very, very high cost. Jeudy left with a high ankle sprain that will keep him out of action for at least several weeks. Final score, Denver 27, Giants 13. Now, it was 27-7 with like 10 seconds left in the game. And the Giants were on the inside the Denver 5, and they scored a touchdown. And the new rule is if you don't have a chance to win it with an extra point or tie it with an extra point, then they don't kick it. So instead of being 27-14, it ended up 27-13. Now, the injury to Jeudy, when I was watching the game, it looked like he had broken his ankle. So that's, even though he's out for several weeks, it's really good news in a sense that it's not broken. Because if it had been broken, it looked like he may have been out anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. Now they're talking that he may be back within 4 weeks. Hinton, who is on the practice squad, has been activated, and he's going to take Jerry Jeudy's spot. Now, Hinton is no Jerry Jeudy, but at least he's a receiver, and he knows the system somewhat. And, hopefully he can fill in quite nicely, even as a decoy, or even, catching a couple passes and just keeping drives alive. So the Broncos are 1-0, Chargers are 1-0, Raiders are 1-0, and the Chiefs are 1-0. Now, let me get to the predictions of what I feel that the AFC West Week 2 is going to look like. All right, now, I got everyone right on Week 1 except the Raiders. The Ravens, I thought for sure would have won that game, and they had that game in their hip pocket, but they let it slip away. All right, let's go first off. The Dallas Cowboys are going to travel to Los Angeles and play the Chargers. Now, the Chargers barely beat Washington. I mean, they barely beat them. They had to get a touchdown in the fourth quarter to beat them, and they only won by 4. I know, guys, you only have to win by 1. I get it. That's evident by Miami beating New England. I get that. But the thing is Washington is not that powerful of a team. And yet the Chargers struggled against Washington. Now Dallas played Tampa Bay, and they played them very, very tough and very tight, and that game went into overtime. So I have it down as Dallas beats the Chargers. I don't know by a lot. I don't know what the score is going to be, but I do have Dallas beating the Chargers. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs travel to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this one I kind of went back and forth and said, man, I don't know. I really, really didn't have a decision on this until right before I did the video. And the main reason why is I went over my notes and I looked at it and I said, okay, Kansas City struggled against Cleveland. And the Ravens basically had the Raiders. In fact, they did have the Raiders on the ropes. They were up 14-0 and let it slip away. They were ahead in the fourth quarter and let it slip away. And they had a chance in overtime and couldn't get it done. Now, is that because the Raiders are a much, much better team? Possibly. But I also feel that it's because the Raiders were at home. It was in front of, fans. It was loud. It was the first time they were playing at Allegiant Stadium. And I just feel that they fed off of that energy. And it still took overtime for them to win it. Now, Kansas City, they like I said, they struggled against Cleveland, but the game is in Baltimore. And I think with the Baltimore Ravens losing in the fashion that they lost in Vegas to the Raiders is going to motivate them and pump them up with their home crowd to take that game. So I have the Ravens beating the Chiefs at home. The Las Vegas Raiders play the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Now, the Raiders, like I said, came off of that tremendous win in overtime on Monday night. And I feel that momentum is going to carry on into Pittsburgh. And the reason why I say that is because Pittsburgh doesn't look that good. Roethlisberger doesn't look that good. The team in Pittsburgh struggles. They're not the same team that they used to be. I wouldn't say they're rebuilding, but they're not the same team that Pittsburgh Steelers fans have come to know. But it's in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh fans are crazy, and they're loud, and they wave those terrible towels. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh won this game. But I'm going off the momentum that the Raiders have coming off that win against the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night. And I just feel that the Raiders are just going to ride that wave as long as they can. And I feel that they're going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Now, the last one, of course, is the Denver Broncos at Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Jacksonville looked horrible on Sunday. And especially Trevor Lawrence. He didn't look good. He does not look comfortable in that system. He doesn't look comfortable in the NFL. Granted, he's a rookie. I get that. It's only his first NFL game. But he didn't look good in preseason either against, the second string of teams. So Denver really looks good. Denver's defense is solid. Von Miller had 2 sacks in the game. And I just feel that with Teddy Bridgewater back there scrambling and making plays, yes, Jerry Jeudy's out, but we still have Cortland Sutton. We got Noah Fant. We got Okwebanam. And we have players that can make plays. We have Hamler, KJ Hamler. He made some plays. We have Patrick. He made some plays. So, actually, I take it back. We don't have Patrick. We don't have Tim Patrick. He's gone. Anyways, we do have playmakers. And we have Teddy Bridgewater, who doesn't make mistakes generally. Okay? He manages the game, and that's all we need him to do is manage the game. Don't make critical mistakes. Use the clock. Get first downs. And even if you don't come away with touchdowns right away, at least pin the defense deep. And force, and I mean force, Trevor Lawrence to make plays, which I don't feel he's going to be able to do against this Bronco defense and Von Miller. That's it, guys. That's what I have. I have the Broncos beating the Jaguars. I have the Vegas beating the Steelers. I have the Ravens beating the Chiefs. And I have the Cowboys beating the Chargers. So if that comes to fruition, the Broncos will be in first place, tied with the Raiders after week 2 with a record of 2-0. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll talk to you after Monday night's game next week. Have a great rest of the week and a great football weekend. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.